My grandma shared to me a story about when they were young. There were six of them in a family, and due to poverty, they would just share one dried fish. And each sibling will get a portion of that dried fish. And the younger one, or the other one, would just get the head. And what's funny there, a cat took the head, and which made that sibling of my grandma, was really mad. But in the gospel today, each of us are actually invited to take part in this banquet, to take part in the kingdom of heaven. Good evening, friends, and I'm Richard, and welcome to this daily brief gospel reflection. And today's reading is taken from Luke 14, verses 15 to 24, talking about the parable of the great banquet. And this parable is very familiar to us, wherein the father invited everyone to take part in this banquet, but then those who have been invited has started to make excuses. The first one said that he just bought a field, the other one just bought 5 yoke of oxen and he needs to test them out, and the other one got married. And because out of rage, Jesus just invite the others to take part in that banquet. Those who are good and like, free or slave, everyone. So what's the relationship with the story and this one? I'd like to share to you two things. Each of us will take a portion of this kingdom. Each of us will be taking part. It says here in Ephesians 6:8, remember that the Lord will reward each one of us for the good we do, whether we are slaves or free. The good thing about this is that the invitation, the banquet, it means that there's so much for all of us that the Lord has prepared to each one of us. A great, good, wonderful future, a life full of blessing, full of strength, a life that is of fullness in terms of life that only God can give to us. But unlike just that, we do have different priorities, and that's a second point. We prioritize even work above our relationships. We prioritize even going to social media, communicating with people in the virtual world, rather than communicating to those people who are beside us, those who are around us physically. And even Jesus keeps on inviting us day by day, reminding us by the life that we receive day by day, by the air that we breathe, every time we wake up in the morning. It's an invitation that Jesus is telling us that, hey, I am here, I am your God. I'm just here waiting for you to notice me, to accept my invitation that I am giving to you, to take that fullness of life that I'm offering to you. Not just a portion, not just half or 1/4 or 3/4, whatever fraction it is, but I'm giving you a whole part of that kingdom that is in heaven. And so, dear friends, in life now, with terms of poverty, that we seem to be just taking portion. We do our part. We work so hard every day, day and night. But then we seem they're still lacking in our lives. We may be even enjoying the life here in the world, enjoying the material things we do have, and maybe even relationships that we do have. But we might forget that there's someone who invited us for us to be filled with so much joy, with so much meaning, and with so much fullness of life. And so, it's a reminder for all of us today that Jesus is inviting us in this banquet, wherein we receive not just a portion, but a whole part. And each of us, the Lord is promising us to receive such part. And lastly, the Lord is reminding us to what about prioritizing Him today? Every day, upon waking up, before touching our phone, before opening up our messenger, or someone checking who likes the post that we posted the night before, who made a heart on our post, whether in Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, why not prioritize God? Just take time to offer, Lord, thank you so much, oh Lord, for giving me this day. Thank you for waking me up this morning. May this life may be offered to you, and be willing to be, Lord, to glorify your name today. And so, dear friends, always remember that you are blessed. And such blessing is not meant for you to be kept, but for you to share to others. May you have a good evening. God bless you.